Fried, I just saw your hoodie right now. That's a really good looking Warwatch hoodie. We'll talk about that in a minute. Wow.
Absolutely.
How's the feel on it while we're waiting for people to come in? I like the way mine feels. Mine's actually like a year old now.
It's really good quality. It's really
It's
heavy
soft.
duty, and it is. It's soft and very, very thick, warm.
I still need to pick me up one of those.
There you go.
Worth every penny. I love it. And I didn't realize that the back is a huge logo.
Yeah, the actual logo giant Warwatch part is in the back. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just the
it was so good that I had to make another purchase, another order.
there you go.
Yeah,
I got the
my
Warwatch hat
family was
on
jealous.
tonight. Okay, we got people flying in here already. We got Jack Horicon, Maria Corleone, Kiki's here, Gus, welcome in, West Lester, Birdman, Lamb Chop, Gaston, Pegger, Jeff's in here, Ox is in here, Miriam Amanda is in here, Reality, hey, welcome in. Flavors is here. 4 megabyte PNG, welcome in. 4 megabyte asks, can I use the spot command for marine traffic also? Yes, 100%. Feel free to do that. Tim's back. Welcome in, Tim. All right. We also have Bella in here, of course. Bella's voice went back to how it used to be, so we'll see. We had some problems with the Bella in the last few days. Hi from Cordoba, Argentina. Welcome in, Patricia. Or Patrick. Patricio. Oh, I just butcher names all day long. I'm so sorry. Mom of 6, welcome in. Kiki, Christine, her voice is so much better. All right, we'll leave it where it's at for right now, definitely. The other one broke and went back to an old TikTok sounding voice. Okay. Gustav, hi from Venezuela. Hey, welcome in. If you're here from Venezuela or anywhere in the area, let us know how things are on the ground. I say that because in the sky right now, we have 3 F-18s showing up on flight radar. And before we jump right in, at the top of the hour, we're waiting on Trump's big announcement / speech. But before I get into that, I'm joined here with Fried Potatoes and the one and only Swiller. Welcome in, Swiller and Fried.
Good evening.
Yes.
Let's see here. So we were talking right before we went live. Trump isn't actually giving this speech tonight from the Oval Office. He's giving this from the diplomatic reception room. What's up with that? Fried, any thoughts? Swiller?
I didn't until recently. I don't know if they just left that out or if that was the game plan all along. Did anybody know that?
So one thing, FDR, Roosevelt, he used to have the fireside chats where he would address the nation kind of in a more like more personal way. More of like, hey, this is what's going on. He used to do that, and those were called the fireside chats. So I think that was from the same room. Yeah, Pixel, I'm not sure why we're using that room tonight. Maybe he wants to have it a little bit more personal. There's also room for more people or activities in that room, I'm guessing. But we'll see.
From what I understand, it's more of a strategy room. Is that correct?
You know what? I'm not sure. I know they have some meetings and stuff in there. There's definitely a lot more room, but I can't recall of a recent video I've seen in there.
Well, that seemed a little official.
Yeah, we're getting a notice that I think the live stream is starting soon for the Trump's announcements.
Oh, that's good.
Callie, welcome in, Callie. Meme Rula, welcome in. There was reality says 3 jets and 3 to come. Thank you so much. Okay. Gustav also said, hope this is the final announcement. Meme says, things on the ground are pretty quiet where I live. Life goes on, but with precaution. I bet. Thank you so much for your comment. Let us know how things are continuing to go there. Pamela Swan, good evening. Hey, welcome in. Freddie, is this live or pre-recorded? All of this is live, and we're waiting on Trump to address the nation.
Kiki says he's usually late. Isn't that the truth? I was thinking of that too. I was like, well, we're going to be sitting here a little bit, I'm sure.
Yeah. Jeremy Olson says, I'm lurking in the background, finishing up dinner, or finishing up supper, rather. 4 Megabytes says, Warwatch Intel, there's a Marine vessel around 35 miles west of the most F-18s named Sea Sentinel, and it's identified as sailing vessel from the U.S. Okay. Jeff Stout, welcome in. Okay, so we are about, 12 minutes away, possibly. While we're waiting on that, I just want to go over some of the things that have been happening, some of the things that Trump has led up to this. We might be talking about Venezuela tonight, but I'm not sure. None of us are really 100% sure. That's kind of the buzz. However, this could be about, I kind of want to like tamper everyone's expectations here. This could be about how well we've been doing as a country. We could talk about some economy. We could talk about, or Trump, not we. Trump's going to be doing all the speaking. We're just going to be reacting and listening here. But Trump might talk about the continuation of deportations. There also might be some topics about people with U.S. citizens that have been recently naturalized. Those citizenships might be revoked. Some other topics that might come up tonight possibly might be, I had some notes here about us surrounding Venezuela and having the whole area shut down, not just in the air, but in the water. Fry, do you have any things other than Venezuela that we might talk about tonight?
Well, I was going to say there's some things, random things that have come up. I've seen anything from Schumer talking about some accomplishments that Trump has had over the last 11 months. I've seen coins that are coming out.
Ooh.
I've seen and heard
I've been talking
rumbling.
about a supposed crypto coin for the last year. I call it the Eagle coin. If that got announced tonight, I'd go out and buy a lottery ticket.
There's also the tax, not the tax, but the
tariff.
Well, and the $2,000
reimbursement.
Yes.
Yeah.
I keep thinking the stipulation that is not right, but my brain is not braining right now because I'm focused on flights and Venezuela.
Yeah. There's a lot going on.
There is.
So, one thing that was brought to my attention a few days ago was, and I'm not sure if we're going to talk about this, but something that kind of reminded me of this topic is Trump said, talking about Venezuela, they took all of our energy rights, they took all of our oil not that long ago, and we want it back. They took it illegally, and we're here to get it back. So, just some history. And people from Venezuela, please help me out with this, or anybody that knows history way better than I do. Going back to before Maduro was in office, the United States oil companies like ConocoPhillips, which used to be Conoco back then, has since merged Phillips, had quite a few oil rights down there, including land, equipment, vessels, stuff like that. When the president at the time, Hugo Chavez, nationalized oil extraction, production, and all of that, kicking out anyone that had leases, land rights, and stuff like that. So I think that's what Trump is talking about when he says, we have oil down there and we want it back. And I think maybe that's why the U.S. seized the oil tanker, was like, hey, that's just part of what is owed to us. I'm not sure what's going on. This is just a guess, but we have just a few more minutes. In the 90s, ConocoPhillips had a right to oil, land, and leases. It was seized by Hugo Chavez. We talked about that. It's estimated, let me see if I can find this. It's estimated, if you take a look at what we had back then and what we would have had, as in like Conoco in the U.S. since then, Venezuela might owe somewhere around $11 billion, including interest, to the United States. So when this first started, this whole Venezuela thing, it wasn't like, oh, this isn't about oil. Well, it might be. On a second note, this is the kind of the quote that got me thinking that we're going to war, or we're going into a conflict, or we're getting Maduro out of there, was when they said this statement that fentanyl and the fentanyl production, everything going on in Southcom, are weapons of mass destruction. That little phrase right there was like, oh, it's time to really pay attention to this. So right now we have a total blockade, which is the largest armada ever assembled, according to Trump, already in the Caribbean. The U.S. and the Navy is prepared to seize all the tankers that are going in and out. Venezuela also recently, I think yesterday, stated all oil tankers going in or out that are owned by Venezuela or overseen by will be escorted by Venezuela Navy or naval ships. And again, we're still waiting on Trump to address the nation. Swirler, any thoughts, ideas?
I'm just sitting here going through my X feed right now to see if anything is popping off. And nothing hitting so far. But it does sound like T-Man has asked several of the American oil companies if they'd be willing to return to Venezuela once Maduro is gone. And so far, no takers, it sounds like. But I'm sure that's just to keep the price of oil stable.
Yeah. It was also said weeks before our first assets, military assets, showed up off the coast of Venezuela. There was a meeting of some oil heads, tycoons, and stuff like that. Like, hey, you want what's owed back to you? Let's take care of business. Interesting. This whole thing is interesting, and it's hard to see what's real, what's on the other side. Some people are saying this is like Iraq 2.0, and some people are saying this is just war drums for nothing. I don't know. What do you think? Let us know in chat what you think. Are we going in for fentanyl destruction? Are we going in for oil? Are we going in there to save the great people of Venezuela from Maduro? I don't know. I don't have these answers. Hopefully, Trump speaks on some of that tonight. Fried, I think you were talking about this earlier.
Yes.
There was a bill that got shot down that was stating that Trump has to, was it get troops out of there or declare something? You know what I'm talking about?
The vote this tonight.
Yeah.
So, from what I understand, they tried to do a resolution bill, and basically it was to block Trump from being able to do some of these things.
And that was shot down, right? Like that gives power to Trump to continue doing what he was doing down here.
Instead of tying his hands, it lets him, basically it opens things up to give him a little more power than and I just read there were it was close. It was extremely close.
All right, so it's called the Venezuela War Powers Act. Sorry, Venezuela War Powers Resolution.
Yes.
It failed to vote 211 to 213 with 9 members not voting. The resolution would have prohibited the president from initiating hostilities against Venezuela without explicit congressional authorization. Since the resolution has failed, Congress has not reasserted any control over the situation. The president can order limited strikes, covert actions, special operations, or defensive actions, and can expand existing missions, i.e. the counter-drug sanctions enforcement and maritime security, until they become hostilities. In short, gray zone operations remain unaffected and continued escalation remains legally possible. Yeah, they go on to say it gives a political green light, but not a legal one.
So I'll go put my tinfoil hat on really quick, because the reason why I was a little caught off guard and I was trying to find it ahead of time is because Fried kind of fried her phone and it's not working. So all of my notes are on my phone. So I don't have them. But I purposefully think there was an interview given by Susie, Trump's right-hand lady, yesterday, and I believe it was tied because she let a few things slip I don't think she was supposed to. And I think this was all starting to come to light yesterday. And I think a lot of this has been planned, obviously, but I think things were starting to kind of come to the surface yesterday.
Yeah.
And you could see it. And I think she let things, and it sounded like there was a pretty big leak today ahead of this.
I think there was a few leaks today. Yeah.
Yes.
Tucker Carlson said he was talking with a member of Congress that said that Trump will be announcing soon actions against Venezuela, I believe is what he said.
Yes.
It's hard to keep all this together. There's so much happening all at once here.
Yeah.
Let's catch up on chat here. 4MB says, we're watching until 15 minutes. Thank you so much. Hey Jay, Prey says, my guess is the sphere of influence kind of a thing. And since Venezuela is buddies with China, that's a no-no for us. China buys a lot of Venezuelan oil, right?
Jack, it was Vanity Fair, or it was Vanity Reporter. Absolutely. Thank you for that.
Jack says it was more than one interview. She had 11 sit-downs with Vanity Reporter. Wow. The T2T says, anyone listening to EAMs on the HFGCS? We are. Right here in the background, since we're not on the server with the fancy radios, right now we're listening to 890902 and 11175 on SDRs.
America.
Oh, here we go.
11 months ago, I inherited a mess, and I'm fixing it. When I took office,
let me know if you guys can hear
was
this.
The worst in 48 years, and some would say in the history of our country, which caused prices to be higher than ever before, making life unaffordable for millions and millions of Americans. This happened during a Democrat administration, and it's when we first began hearing the word affordability. Our border was open, and because of this, our country was being invaded by an army of 25 million people, many who came from prisons and jails, mental institutions, and insane asylums. They were drug dealers, gang members, and even 11,888 murderers, more than 50% of whom killed more than one person. This is what the Biden administration allowed to happen to our country, and it can never be allowed to happen again. We had men playing in women's sports, transgender for everybody, crime at record levels with law enforcement, and words such as that just absolutely forbidden. We had the worst trade deals ever made, and our country was laughed at from all over the world, but they're not laughing anymore. Over the past 11 months, we have brought more positive change to Washington than any administration in American history. There's never been anything like it, and I think most would agree. I was elected in a landslide, winning the popular vote and all 7 swing states and everything else, with a mandate to take on a sick and corrupt system that really just took the wealth from people and crushed the dreams of the American people. For the last 4 years, the United States was ruled by politicians who fought only for insiders, illegal aliens, career criminals, corporate lobbyists, prisoners, terrorists, and above all, foreign nations, which took advantage of us at levels never seen before. They flooded your cities and towns with illegal aliens. They decimated your hard-earned savings. They indoctrinated your children with hate for America. They just released a level of violent felons that we had never seen to innocent. They caused war. They caused mayhem. They caused a horrible situation all over the globe. But now you have a president who fights for the law-abiding, hardworking people of our country, the ones who make this nation run, who make this nation work. And after just 1 year, we have achieved more than anyone could have imagined. Starting on day one, I took immediate action to stop the invasion of our southern border. For the past 7 months, 0 illegal aliens have been allowed into our country, a feat which everyone said was absolutely impossible. Do you remember when Joe Biden said that he needed Congress to pass legislation to help close the border? He was always blaming Congress and everyone else. As it turned out, we didn't need legislation. We just needed a new president. We inherited the worst border anywhere in the world, and we quickly turned it into the strongest border in the history of our country. In other words, in a few short months, we went from worst to best. We're deporting criminals, restoring safety to our most dangerous cities. Just take a look at Washington, D.C. It's at levels of safety that we've never seen before. And they decimated the bloodthirsty foreign drug cartels. We did that all by ourselves with our people, and we're so proud of it because they were poisoning and destroying our population. Drugs brought in by ocean and by sea are now down 94%. We have broken the grip of sinister woke radicals in our schools, and control over those schools is back now in the hands of our great and loving states where education belongs. After rebuilding the United States military in my first term, and with the addition we are adding right now, we have the most powerful military anywhere in the world, and it's not even close. I've restored American strength, settled 8 wars in 10 months, destroyed the Iran nuclear threat, and ended the war in Gaza, bringing for the first time in 3,000 years peace to the Middle East, and secured the release of the hostages, both living and dead. Here at home, we're bringing our economy back from the brink of ruin. The last administration and their allies in Congress looted our Treasury for trillions of dollars, driving up prices and everything at levels never seen before. I am bringing those high prices down and bringing them down very fast. Let's look at the facts. Under the Biden administration, car prices rose 22% and in many states 30% or more. Gasoline rose 30 to 50%. Hotel rates rose 37%. Airfares rose 31%. Now under our leadership, they are all coming down and coming down fast. Democrat politicians also sent the cost of groceries soaring, but we are solving that too. The price of a Thanksgiving turkey was down 33% compared to the Biden last year. The price of eggs is down 82% since March, and everything else is falling rapidly. And it's not done yet, but boy, are we making progress. Nobody can believe what's going on. Here are just some of the efforts that we have underway. You will see in your wallets and bank accounts in the new year. After years of record-setting falling incomes, our policies are boosting take-home pay at a historic pace. Under Biden, real wages plummeted by $3,000. Under Trump, the typical factory worker has seen a wage increase of $1,300. For construction workers, it's $1,800. For miners, we're bringing back clean, beautiful coal. It's $3,300. And for the first time in years, wages are rising much faster than inflation. Remember that. The wages, just look at it. Wages are going up much faster than inflation. How big is that? Very importantly, there are more people working today than at any time in American history, and 100% of all jobs created since I took office have been in the private sector. Think of that. 100% of all jobs have been in the private sector rather than government, which is the only way to make a country powerful and great. This historic trend will continue. Already, I've secured a record-breaking $18 trillion of investment into the United States, which means jobs, wage increases, growth, factory openings, and far greater national security. Much of this success has been accomplished by tariffs. My favorite word, tariffs, which for many decades have been used successfully by other countries against us, but not anymore. Companies know that if they build in America, there are no tariffs, and that's why they're coming home to the USA in record numbers. They're building factories and plants at levels we haven't seen, AI, automobiles. We're doing what nobody thought was even possible, not even remotely possible. There has never, frankly, been anything like it. 1 year ago, our country was dead. We were absolutely dead. Our country was ready to fail, totally failed. Now, we're the hottest country anywhere in the world, and that's said by every single leader that I've spoken to over the last 5 months. Next year, you will also see the results of the largest tax cuts in American history that were really accomplished through our great, big, beautiful bill, perhaps the most sweeping legislation ever passed in Congress. We wrapped 12 different bills up into one beautiful bill. That includes no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors. Under these cuts, many families will be saving between $11,000 and $20,000 a year, and next spring is projected to be the largest tax refund season of all time. Because of tariffs, along with the just passed One Big Beautiful Bill, tonight I am also proud to announce that more than 1,450,000, think of this, 1,450,000 military service members will receive a special, we call Warrior Dividend before Christmas, a Warrior Dividend. In honor of our nation's founding in 1776, we are sending every soldier $1,776. Think of that. And the checks are already on the way. Nobody understood that one until about 30 minutes ago. We made a lot more money than anybody thought because of tariffs, and the bill helped us along. Nobody deserves it more than our military, and I say congratulations to everybody. And by the way, we now have record enlistment in our military, and last year we had among the worst recruitment numbers in our military's history. What a difference a year makes. In addition, I'm doing what no politician of either party has ever done, standing up to the special interests to dramatically reduce the price of prescription drugs. I negotiated directly with the drug companies and foreign nations, which were taking advantage of our country for many decades, to slash prices on drugs and pharmaceuticals by as much as 400, 500, and even 600%. In other words, your drug costs will be plummeting downward, and I used the threat of tariffs to get foreign countries who would never have done it to pay the cost of this giant dollar reduction. They stopped ripping us off, and it began as of 4 days ago. There has never been anything like this in the history of our country. Drugs have only gone up, but now they'll be going down by numbers never conceived possible. It's called Most Favored Nation, and no president has ever had the courage or ability to get this done until now. The first of these unprecedented price reductions will be available starting in January through a new website, TrumpRx.gov. And these big price cuts will greatly reduce the cost of health care. I'm also taking on the gigantic health insurance companies that have gotten rich on billions of dollars of money that should go directly to the people. The money should go to the people, that's you, so they can buy their own health insurance, which will give far better benefits at much lower costs. It will be far better health insurance. The current Unaffordable Care Act was created to make insurance companies rich. It was bad health care at much too high a cost. And you see that now in the steep increase in premiums being demanded by the Democrats, and they are demanding those increases, and it's their fault. It is not the Republicans' fault. It's the Democrats' fault. It's the Unaffordable Care Act, and everybody knew it. Again, I want the money to go directly to the people so you can buy your own health care. You'll get much better health care at a much lower price. The only losers will be insurance companies that have gotten rich, and the Democrat Party, which is totally controlled by those same insurance companies. They will not be happy, but that's okay with me, because you, the people, are finally going to be getting great health care at a lower cost. Another major focus is the cost of energy. For years, the radical left Democrats exploited the green energy scam as an excuse to funnel many billions of dollars into their own massive slush funds, as their energy restrictions drastically drove up prices, and they drove them up at record levels. Electricity costs surged 30 to 100% under Biden, and the typical family lost $5,000 to $10,000 in higher energy costs. Think of that, $5,000 to $10,000 you lost. On day one, I declared a national energy emergency. Gasoline is now under $2.50 a gallon in much of the country. In some states, it, by the way, just hit $1.99 a gallon. And within the next 12 months, we will have opened 1,600 new electrical generating plants, a record, and it's a record that won't be beaten by practically, I would say, by anybody, or certainly not very soon. Prices on electricity and everything else will fall dramatically. The Democrat inflation disaster, again, the worst in the history of our country, also robbed millions of Americans of home ownership and indeed the American dream. The yearly cost of a typical new mortgage increased by $15,000 under Democrat rule. In 11 months, we've already gotten that annual cost down by $3,000, and it's coming down a lot lower. Wait till you see. The numbers are going to be shocking. And I'll soon announce our next chairman of the Federal Reserve, someone who believes in lower interest rates by a lot, and mortgage payments will be coming down even further. Early the new year, and you will see this, in the new year I will announce some of the most aggressive housing reform plans in American history. A major factor in driving up housing costs was the colossal border invasion. We have never been invaded. This is the worst thing that, frankly, in my opinion, the worst thing that the Biden administration did to our country is the invasion at the border. The last administration and their allies in Congress brought in millions and millions of migrants and gave them taxpayer-funded housing while your rent and housing costs skyrocketed. Over 60% of growth in the rental market came from foreign migrants. At the same time, illegal aliens stole American jobs and flooded emergency rooms, getting free health care and education paid for by you, the American taxpayer. They also increased the cost of law enforcement by numbers so high that they are not even to be mentioned. For the first time in 50 years, we are now seeing reverse migration as migrants go back home, leaving more housing and more jobs for Americans. In the year before my election, all net creation of jobs was going to foreign migrants. Since I took office, 100% of all net job creation has gone to American-born citizens, 100%. In the end, government either serves the productive, patriotic, hardworking American citizen, or it serves those who break the laws, cheat the system, and seek power and profit at the expense of our nation. Look at Minnesota, where Somalians have taken over the economics of the state and have stolen billions and billions of dollars from Minnesota and indeed from the United States of America. And we're going to put an end to it. For so long as before my election, the vast majority of good and decent Americans were forced to watch as corrupt politicians plundered the halls of power, exploited our taxpayers, and pillaged every system that makes civilized society function. But not anymore, and you see that every day, not anymore. We're putting America first, and we are making America great again. Very simple. We are making America great again. Tonight, after 11 months, our border is secure. Inflation is stopped. Wages are up. Prices are down. Our nation is strong. America is respected, and our country is back, stronger than ever before. We're poised for an economic boom, the likes of which the world has never seen. Soon we will host the World Cup and the Olympics, both of which I got. But most importantly, we will celebrate the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. There could be no more fitting tribute to this epic milestone than to complete the comeback of America that began just 1 year ago. When the world looks at us next year, let them see a nation that is loyal to its citizens, faithful to its workers, confident to its identity, certain to its destiny, and the envy of the entire globe. We are respected again like we have never been respected before. To each and every one of you, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. God bless you all.
That's not
Well,
it, right?
Not the 56 minutes I was expecting.
So who was it? Schumer? He said it's going to be a very short message.
Chuck Schumer was correct.
Yeah,
That's wow.
Compared to most of T-Man's speeches, I'd say that's a pretty short one.
It was on time. It was about his accomplishments. And it was short. There we go.
Okay, that's not at all what most of us were expecting today. So
I agree, Pam. Nice decor.
And absolutely, Pam, it is what it's like home for Christmas. It's the American Christmas. It's classic and it's elegant. I love that. I really do.
a couple interesting things. One, again, not what I thought what was going to be announced tonight. Two, I think that interrupted some television broadcast tonight. I'm not saying the president shouldn't be allowed to do that, but I don't know if that was needed per se. I thought we were going to have a sit down conversation, a heart to heart. Not giving them grief for it, but wow, that's not what I was expecting at all.
And I do see in the chat, absolutely, Amy, it was very strong. It was a very strong delivered, not off the cuff, not all over the map, but absolutely for our servicemen and women, that bonus, absolutely, what a time to receive a bonus, right? 1776, obviously a meaningful number. Definitely thank you to all of those members of the military.
Yeah, worldwide.
Yes.
So real quick, I thought we were going to use like the sandwich method, the cookie method, whatever you want to call it. I thought we were going to have some good messaging, like, hey, numbers are up, things are going great. Here's some bad news. We're going to a conflict. This is down. Jobs are down. Blah blah blah. And then end it with some good, right? We've all probably heard that. You deliver a bad message inside of, or hard to swallow message in between some good stuff. I thought maybe that's what was going to happen. So I was waiting for the next part of like, hey, think this is what's happening. However, this is what we need to do. And then some more good news. I don't know. I'm kind of in shock right now. I think a lot of people are going to be. Our poll question, will Trump talk about actions against Venezuela? 51% of people said yes. 49% said no. I'll go ahead and end that poll question right now. So the only other way to me that makes sense is we have a big hype call like, hey guys, we're doing great. I'm doing great. I'm such a good president. And I'm not saying he's not. I'm just saying that's how that came off of right there was I'm doing great. Economy's doing great. Everything's going great. Get the stocks up, get everyone happy. And then in the next few days, maybe you have some kind of announcement. Maybe that's Venezuela. Maybe that's not. I don't know. This whole thing is bananas. We are in unprecedented times. Swiller, what do you think, buddy?
I think that I appreciate the chat. I'm looking at this chat flying by, and for as many pro-Trump folks that we have in chat, there's some anti-Trump folks that we have in chat, and there's some folks that are probably pretty in the middle. I appreciate everybody's opinion, that we have a place to be able to have those different opinions and not have to worry about if we're an anti-Trumper or a pro-Trumper that our messages are going to get deleted or anything like that. We're here to have conversations and here to be able to have different points of view and not feel like we need to harm each other or anything along those lines. And I appreciate the spirited banter that I'm seeing between folks in chat and being able to participate with that. And
as long as we can be friendly about it, I think it's totally fine. We respect both sides here, all sides.
I am seeing a ton of new names in the chat. And I know we've gained a few hundred subscribers here in the last week, basically, with everything going on. So, I want to say welcome to all the new folks around here. Welcome to War Watch Intel. We are the best open source intelligence community on the internet, hands down. If you are new around here and you haven't hit that subscribe button, well, what the hell are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button. It's my favorite four-letter F word, FREE free. Make sure you hit the bell notification icon while you are at it. Make sure you smash that live button for us, share us on the social medias, and check us out on the Discord. Nearly 1,000 people, a thou wow.
I've never heard that term, a thou wow.
A thou wow, yeah. Welcome to Cali.
I love that.
But at any rate, we'd love to have you join the community. We are almost at 13,000. We just crested 12 like 2 weeks ago, almost at 13,000.
Flying, we're at 12,973 subscribers, and it was just, I don't know, 15 months ago we started this whole project.
I mean, absolutely epic growth. I love it.
Darren Kate says, "Oh wow, thanks whoever gifted me a membership. Hey, welcome to the Recon crew. Welcome to Warwatch." Jeremy Olson said, "Is that like a powwow?" It's even better. Okay, so I had some notes real quick. Trump was rapid firing those topics. I mean, I'm not even sure his press secretary could get up there and do it that fast. We talked about affordability. We talked about how people came to this country illegally, crime. Trump is here protecting America. We achieved so much. There's less illegal aliens and people willing to do harm here. That he inherited the worst border in the history of the world. He settled 8 wars in 10 months. I might have to check into that one. I'm not sure. And peace in the Middle East. Those are all the ones I could type, and I was trying to type as fast as I could, which is not that fast.
I'm still waiting for my Doge check.
I've told you what I think about Doge.
Well, absolutely.
I'm open to being way wrong about it. I'm hoping I'm wrong about that one. Anyways, we have 3 F-18s. Earlier, it was 4 F-18s. Oh, one just fell off tracking here. Grizzly 1 and Grizzly 2 still on the map. 2 of those F-18s were ELINT aircraft, right? Swiller, is that right?
Call sign Grizzly is the EF-18 Growler.
Okay, so those are the ones on screen right now.
Yeah.
So we have the 2 Growlers here. For people that don't know, Swiller, what's the simplest way to describe what a Growler is? We know the F-18s, the fighters, but what does the Growler option do?
All right. So the Growler is an electronic warfare aircraft. It can go out and perform ELINT missions, so listening for electronic emissions, and it can also go out and perform ELINT jamming missions. So get close to the coast, and all of a sudden, every radio frequency and television frequency that's being broadcast all of a sudden becomes dominated. It's called spectrum dominance. It also allows us to understand where certain assets are as far as an electrical system goes. We can find out where their command and control are. It gives us some very unique capabilities. The other mission that those planes like to participate in is the SEAD mission, where they basically either suppress or destruction of the enemy air defenses, where they bait the enemies to turn their radar systems on, and then they go shoot them down.
Let's see here. Fiery Medic 2015 says, Growler says, you're going to be blind on radar.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Lamb Chop says, replaced by the EA-6B Prowler. All right. Well, do you think...
Well, I guess I can let my hair down now.
Yeah. Do Does everyone think? Let me know what you think in chat, like a yes or a no or a thumbs up, thumbs down emoji. Do you think we're gonna have action in Venezuela, be it limited strikes, decapitation strikes, physical action or kinetic action against Venezuela before Christmas? Maybe this needs to be a poll question. I'm not sure.
I saw somebody in the chat say the 29th earlier as I was reading messages.
Tank says no. Tommy says nice hairdo. And Friday and I are wearing hats, so that's all your hair. Swiller hair don't care.
Swiller hair do not care.
Jack says, I think we're waiting on the beginning of the year. Callie says yes, 100%. Thank you, Callie. I can tell you Maduro's probably pretty nervous. Tina says F-18s off the coast. Yes. They need the Christmas break. Iggy says, guys, if he didn't mention Maduro, my take is yes, he will bomb Maduro. Thomas said striking tonight or Friday. So I wonder, kind of just backtracking for a moment, I wonder if he hyped this big announcement tonight saying, hey, we're going to have this huge announcement. Everyone's like, hey, this has got to be about Venezuela, right? And that just makes everyone in Venezuela or Maduro's like side kind of sweating bullets. And then tonight's announcement's another nothing burger. Maybe it's just more psyops.
I mean, he's been doing this. How many times has he had an announcement where we've thought, oh, it's the big, like, what is this, Sanford and Sons? That's the big one. And
this is the fourth one.
Yeah. And then it's nothing.
What was it, a week ago? It was like, hey, we have this major announcement. Come with me in the Oval Office. We're going to have a talk. And we get in there and it's like, hey, the auto industry is going to be the best that it's ever been. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
I mean,
and remember
good for cars.
The lady that had the Trump, what was it? The Trump accounts?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, no, this is status quo, it seems.
Let's see here. Someone said they might be talking about they thought Trump was going to talk about 3-Eye Atlas. Who was that? It was just in the chat. I lost it here. I was wondering, so there's a new Spielberg movie coming up talking about disclosure and aliens. I was like, is Trump going to talk about aliens tonight? That would have been wild. I gotta find that here. 1 second. BT, do you think the U.S. can eliminate Maduro regime like they did the Houthis? So personally, I think before putting a whole bunch of boots on the ground, I think we're going to have limited strikes against just military assets or just Maduro himself, or somehow magically get Maduro out of there using the CIA or some extraction teams. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, there's times where Maduro's in a big group of people in a big event. This is crazy. Pegger says economy will be better 2026 when BBB kicks in. Oh, during the broadcast, I want to give a shout out to Tony. 8326. Tony joined the recon crew as a recon scout. Hey, thank you so much for the support, and thank you for being here, Tony. Sorry I couldn't give you a shout out during that. I didn't want to interrupt Trump talking there, but thank you so much, and welcome to the recon crew. Okay. Well, since we didn't talk about Venezuela, I have one major thing we got to talk about tonight. What was for dinner? I had Dairy Queen with onion rings, hamburger and onion rings.
Okay.
I'm going to go, it was a 9 out of 10. They have really good ranch.
I've got a couple of chicken breasts that I'm going to be cutting up, breading, frying, and having some pasta with that tonight.
Sounds delicious.
I just want it known I did not start this conversation.
Not this time.
No, this was not me. I had pizza.
Okay, what kind?
Sausage. I did not pick it. Because if I did, it would have been pineapple.
Ding had Cheerios. That's a solid winner too. I love Cheerios. Actually, I love cereal for dinner. Callie's like pizza. Callie loves some pizza. Tim, steak and baked potatoes. That is a staple here in Wyoming. Pamela Swan, we had butter chicken, delicious. Ginger cheese pizza here. Hawaiian all the day fried. Chicken verde tacos, Arby's and Twizzlers. And we know how to eat here at Warwatch. Gratin potatoes, let's go. Tony, we had both pineapple and sausage pizza. Wednesday night must be like a pizza night, huh?
You know, that's one thing that we didn't check out.
The pizza index.
Checking it now.
All right.
Pamela, you have to try it. If you like sweet and salty.
Okay, Thomas says chili and ramen noodles. Like combined or two separate bowls? Because if they're combined, I'm instantly interested here.
Domino's and Papa John's with a 227% and 385% spike, respectively. However, Extreme Pizza, District Pizza, We the Pizza are all quiet, and Pizzato is normal. And let me check the other thing that they monitor here.
Darren Cates loves Mexican pizza. That's a big W. So maybe tonight's speech with Trump was just a big distraction. Like, hey, nothing's happening. Everything's fine. Everyone in Maduro's regime sleeps easy tonight. And then something major happens. At this point, I don't know. I feel like I usually know. I don't know. I have no idea.
It's a big mystery, man.
Do we think that was live? Do we think that was pre-recorded? I couldn't tell.
There were a couple
and if I
comments.
can't tell. Oh, was there?
Yeah, there were a couple comments.
If I couldn't tell, then it was pretty good.
You know what? I was looking in the ornaments to see if I could see any glares, and I couldn't.
Yeah. Ginger says pre-recorded. Pamela Swan says yes, distraction from something. Retro Doomsday says hell yeah, brothers. Davis says, my thoughts are the operation are getting more intense, and he said he cannot speak about it. So maybe one time I am going to give Trump a hard time for this. Sometimes he lets the cat out of the bag a little too soon on something. So maybe he's actually been asked or is doing a good job of keeping the cat in the bag until it's go time. Manchop says Forte 10 over the Black Sea. Thank you. Ray says, did we hear or see any press? What about the main staff, Rubio, Hegseth? It's a bit sketchy. If it was live, it's a distraction. Rubio was spotted waiting for Trump in the Oval Office through the windows, pacing back and forth. Some people took that as some kind of stress or was pondering something. Or maybe he was just bored. Robert says reverse psychology. Actually, you know what? I don't know where Pete Hegseth is right now. I have to see what he's been up to. He didn't cover Dan Bongino. Yeah, Dan Bongino is leaving at the start of the new year, stepping down as an assistant in the FBI. And I believe he's going right back to his podcast or his show.
As of Friday.
As of Friday. Oh, wow. Okay. That's fast.
It makes me sad. And he put out a statement thanking everybody for the opportunity. God bless America. Yeah.
So he said he had. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, I do like Dan Bongino. I do.
Yeah. He did say that he had somebody in mind for the new Fed chair. I question that, not because I like Jerome Powell. I don't know if the president holds the power to forcibly remove, and this is something I don't know a whole lot about, if the president has the ability to remove the Fed chair or replace them. I think that sides with Congress. Please let me know in chat if you know the answer to that. The Fed chair, I believe, is a complete separate entity. Unless Jerome Powell is sitting down, Jay Powell is stepping down. Killer Rob said Pete did post about a new boat strike. Yeah, there was multiple strikes. What was it, on the 15th? Multiple strikes on the same day. And those were some decently large strikes. Let me see if I have those available here to pull up real quick. I remember watching those and I was like, whoa. They look like some decently large ordnance. Give me 1 second to scroll here. As I'm talking about that, they're also pushing for kind of a redistricting of like U.S. Northcom, Southcom, AFRICOM, Europe, and Indo-Pacific, and kind of merging those into just a few different areas like of responsibilities. That would be pretty interesting. Sorry, I'm just looking up at all my old Sage videos here. Probably be easier if I just searched it. We're just gonna search it here. You guys couldn't hear that one, but there was a test count. I don't have it tuned into the stream until something major happens here. And I cannot find this video here. Friday, I thought I I was showing you and Swiller that one. Max says, didn't Bongino have an issue with cancer about a year ago? I don't remember that. Possibly. If so, I hope he gets that taken care of. That's awful. Fat Track says he can probably legally remove him, but a gray area. But Pal's term is up this next year. Oh, I didn't know that. Amy, welcome in, Amy. Thomas, they did make a strike unaliving 4 during the speech. Yes, on the cancer. That's awful. I did not know that. Joseph says Fed chair term ends in May, appointed by the president. Okay, that's something I didn't know. Thank you. Powell was appointed by Trump in his first term. Okay. Well, it sounds like Trump has somebody in mind to take over for Jay Powell.
I'm sorry. I was following up on a news. Something
you're good.
that I saw on X.
So just to recap, one of the coolest things I saw tonight was the 1776 bonus for service members. Go ahead.
Yes, absolutely.
What were you going to say? I think I cut you off.
No, I know that you were asking for a video that you had shown, but I did not catch which one.
It was the ones of the extremely large explosions of the alleged drug boats.
Yes, I did just see them.
I was trying to show them on here, but I don't have the link. I must have shared them in Discord.
Absolutely. I will find it because I just saw it. I literally just actually saw it. Because I was looking up, it was Maduro actually ordered military to escort the oil rigs with, so his military to escort the tankers.
Mm-hmm.
So
the oil
that
tankers
if
in and out.
anything happens, basically there's direct conflict.
Yeah. So Maduro came out and said that he's going to ignore the U.S. threats of the naval blockade and send his oil tankers in and out of the country with naval support from Venezuela Navy.
Mm-hmm.
Are they going to send a rowboat out there with them?
I don't know. I am not up to date on it by any means of Venezuela's naval assets at all.
No. They don't got nothing worth it.
I believe that you are looking for this one.
If you could throw in the chat in here, perfect. Thank you. I think it is this one. So I'm going to try putting it on the screen. Hopefully it shows. And I just lost it. Okay, there we go. I think this is it. Or was this the one from today? There was another one. No, there's one where the water is just like going up. I'll find it and I'll show it for next time. But holy smokes.
Then it is.
They look different.
One. Sorry.
Oh no, I was having a hard time finding them too. There's so many.
It's this one. There was 2 of them.
I think this is it. This is the one I was talking about. This one, like maybe they're just trying to get rid of the fentanyl on there and vaporize it, save the wildlife around there. I'm not sure. I'm gonna pause that right there. That looks massive. Like, holy smokes. And that's zoomed out decently far from that
Yeah, that
drone
was
shot.
a big one.
So they go infrared and they go back to possibly normal vision there, or different filter. Anyways, well, folks, since the speech was pretty short tonight, I think we'll cut it off here and then get the 24/7 stream back up and running. For the first of the year, I'm trying to hammer down a better live schedule. I understand I've been going to you live randomly during events, but we'll continue doing that. But I also want to have somewhat of a regular live schedule. So we're working
Frost.
on that. Go ahead.
In chat, before we get out of here, somebody asked, I know Venezuela is on everybody's mind, but any updates on China and Japan situation? I was actually doing a little reading on that myself today.
Yeah.
And China has doubled down its efforts diplomatically to get Japan to retract its words and apologize. Japan, for the second straight time, has officially said, no, thank you, CCP. We don't like you. And we went and did some training and an FNOP and something else with Japan over the past couple of days to shore up the commitment and show China that we're there to back them up. That's the latest I have on that.
And don't we have, I might be getting this wrong, don't we have the Nimitz heading over towards that general direction?
I thought
think
so.
Yeah, I think we have the Nimitz heading that direction over towards the Philippines.
Right. So I thought so too. But then I saw a TikTok today. I don't know when it was dated. It didn't have a date in the TikTok. But it said that Nimitz was passing through the Puget Sound for the last time before decommissioning in 2026. And it looked pretty gray and crappy. And I know Seattle and that area up there always looks kind of gray and crappy. Sorry if you live up there, but it's the truth. So, I mean, I couldn't really tell if it was from today or not, or past couple of days. But I also couldn't tell that it wasn't either. So you could be right. It may be an old video, or the Nimitz is making a stop up in Washington before everything is all said and done. I was also under the impression that they're going to extend the Nimitz out another couple of years to make up for the other Ford class carrier delays and a delay of the Truman that's in long-term rehabilitation right now. Long-term.
Yeah. I think
refit.
I'm wrong about the Nimitz. I think it must have been a different carrier group.
GW's over there right now messing around.
Okay. Yep. I think that's what I think I got them backwards.
And I believe the Carl Vinson is still in the med, if I'm correct.
Real quick, it was Jeremy who just said the F-18s are starting to pop up. We had the Rhino 51 first pop up over here again. It was hanging out, cruising over here, and Rhino 51 was off the scope here, and now is back on. And then just a few seconds ago, I'm guessing it's Rhino 52, just popped up here and is tracking going southwest. So we'll actually watch this for a few minutes.
Yeah, if that's the case, bro, that's closer than they've been on previous nights.
Yeah, so I do want to reiterate and recap. If you're on flight radar and you're seeing these, like the other night when they were heading down towards Venezuela and where they showed where they were going over the land, if it's showing that it has a black line, it's guessing where it's heading based off its last heading and coordinates and speed. This is a blue line, meaning each one of these little circles is a live tracking marker, meaning it's probably pretty spot on. But if you ever see this as a black line and it's heading down over a place where maybe it shouldn't be, that is flight radar giving an estimate on where it was based off its last known coordinates. So, Swiller, you're right. This is extremely close. So they're either going in and out of tracking or coverage area, or they're doing it on purpose. I'm going to go with doing it on purpose, just as a guess. Lamb Chop says that's pretty close. Reality says he's not alone. Reality also says, look at Fried smiling.
Yeah, it's not often I'm smiling. No, I'm just kidding. I was just smiling and laughing a little bit because I think the whole world learned the other night what flight radar really means with those black lines and blue lines.
And I happened to just guess that correctly. I didn't know that when I was calling that out, by the way. That was just
good.
a good educated guess.
It was a smart, educated guess.
I got lucky with that. I rolled the dice.
Yeah.
I'd rather be safe than call an F-18 going into Venezuela on accident.
Yeah.
This one down here, this NA, which we're is guessing is another rhino, doesn't show tracking anywhere else previously. It just started showing tracking right here at 2:54 UTC as Zulu time. So 4 minutes ago started tracking just north of Caracas. Iggy says they're playing with Maduro's head. I mean, you're probably right. Jack Horcon says, yes, Nimitz' deployment is coming to an end. Yeah, it must have been the George Bush or something I was reading about. It's hard to keep all this stuff straight. Davis says they could be checking Venezuela's radar that they put on when they show up. Darren has my TV on this YouTube, on this channel, and my phone on the chat now. Can see it now. Hey, awesome. Thanks for being here on both devices.
But you know what's even better? I'm sure that Venezuela might even have flight radar up.
Okay, I have to find that photo. For people that didn't see this.
Dude, flight radar even responded. They made a statement.
They did. There was multiple images. Let me pull it up here. So while I'm looking at it, there was a kind of like a war room type situation where some commanders or generals or something like that are talking about interesting things or whatever. In the background, on a giant projector screen is flight radar, and they're paying for the gold account. Good for them. And here's another one.
I wonder whose name they put it under.
Right? Maybe just Maduro's. Let me see if I can make this bigger here. Here's another one. So you can see them talking in their like situation room. And here's flight radar. And then here's one of them talking in front of that like big projector table. And then behind them here is flight radar. I want to kind of zoom in one of these nights and see what they have as their saved tabs in Chrome. But yeah, flight radar gold. Good for them.
I just think that's just beautiful. That's awesome. Using
Right?
your resources. That's what that
mean,
is.
That just goes to show you. I mean, we use Skyglass, we use Flight Radar, we use ADSB Exchange, but they're using the same stuff we are. I bet they would love to know about Skyglass.
Yes.
Let's get this back open here.
We could save them so much money
Yeah.
in their radar technology.
Or they could just tune in to War Watch Intel on YouTube and learn where these F-18s are.
They could pay us and they take their money. We just...
I had to find that post on Flight Radar 24 here. I'm pretty sure that was on X.
Ray, that would be terrible. Oh my goodness. Who are these three knuckleheads? I don't know, but we're taking a lot of advice from them. They talk about food a lot.
Yeah, here's the image. And then Flight Radar right here. Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger. Flight Radar says, "Hello, Vladimir Padrino. If you need to improve Flight Radar 24 coverage in Venezuela, feel free to apply for free receivers at flightradar24.com." So, for anybody that doesn't know how most of this works, what's that?
Fire.
Right? What a response. What good marketing, too. For anyone that doesn't know how Flight Radar works, this is an actual radar. On frequency, and I'll try not to get too nerdy here, on frequency 1090, aircraft and engines mainly send out frequencies of like how many souls are on board, aircraft information, weight, heading, all that stuff, altitude. And anybody can pick those up using a radio and attach to their computer like an SDR. But Flight Radar and other companies can send you this little package that you put in your window or up on top of your house and stuff. And that transmits to the internet back to them, and they decode this information and put it all together, making a package like Flight Radar 24, which has coverage around almost the whole globe. Pretty cool stuff. That allows us to see things like this that we normally wouldn't see. Now, Iggy says, "Get nerdy." We are all are. Yeah, we sure are, 100%.
Speaking about getting nerdy, for those that don't know, I'll throw it in the chat here. I've got a channel called Intel Stack where we deep dive these sort of questions and ideas. Did one about the National Security Strategy Report that came out the other night. I'm going to be doing a video about NORAD coming up here pretty soon. So I'd love if you guys could subscribe to me over on the Intel Stack channel. And I'll throw a link in the chat down here. Ginger with the $4.99 super chat. Thank you very much, Ginger. Much appreciated.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ginger. That's all the support is super appreciated. Wow. Ginger says, "Just a small dono for staying live a little longer. Thank you." Hey, you're welcome. Honestly, we were expecting a longer chat with the president tonight.
All right, I dropped my link down there in the chat. So after we're done here, if y'all can click that, subscribe to the Intel Stack channel, much appreciate it. While you're subscribing to things, make sure you subscribe over here to War Watch Intel. We maintain a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week live stream that covers the information that you're seeing us talk about here, as well as the other hot points of the world, such as China and Taiwan, Russia, Ukraine, Russia and Europe, for that matter, the Middle East, and even domestically, the things that happen abroad here at home. So we'd really appreciate if you took the time to subscribe. It's free. Make sure you hit the like button, bell notification icon, and share the stream on your social medias when you can. And of course, last but not least, join us on the Discord. We'd love to have you over there too.
And last shout out. We're still playing around with Zello, the walkie-talkie app on your phone. I've been giving shout outs when these F-18s and E-2s and stuff start showing up over Venezuela. Because I'm not always next to a computer, but I'm always next to my phone. So I've been giving shout outs on there. Yeah, so come join us on Zello. Search for War Watch Intel. We have 2 different channels on there. One is public and one is kind of like a higher priority channel. Swiller, we do have that F-18 that's close to Caracas, just doing racetracks like a holding pattern now. Very close to the coast.
I'd be interested to. I can't use Google Earth on this computer, but I'd be very interested to know, using some sort of measuring tool, what the distance is. It would be roughly the same as that island is off the coast.
This one here. Tortuga. So that's Tortuga Island. So you're right. He's pretty close to that. So if anyone can use measuring tools on Google Maps, the distance between that and Puerto Peruto, I probably butchered that name too. Apologies.
It says Isla Tortuga, Turtle Island, is located 40 to 56 miles off the coast of the mainland.
I will say this southern part right here, this beach does bend down, and this is a lot closer right here. Holy smokes. That is very close.
Ray in the chat has had it's less than 50 miles.
International boundary was it 21 nautical miles?
I thought it was 12 miles off the coast, or 13
Is it 12? Tony with the $5 super chat. Thank you. Thanks, guys and gals, for all you do. Happy to be a member. Hey, thank you for being here and welcome. Robert says 12. Thank you, Robert. Robert 1465. Let's keep an eye on this F-18 here for just a few more minutes.
Reality says 32 miles per the measuring tool.
Okay, that's pretty dang close. That F-18 is cruising at right around 26,000 feet, going about 443 miles per hour ground speed. And if you're tracking him for any reason here, the hex is Alpha Echo 1 Bravo 65.
Crazy that there is 53,000 people
watching that one real close. We lost Grizzly 1 on tracking. Now it's 2 rhinos and 1 grizzly. Meme says, I'm biting my non-existing nails right now. Pine says, y'all got a welcome bot. Nice. She's more than a welcome bot. You can actually talk to her. If you put the first name in first, and you can ask her a question about EAMs or F-18s or almost anything, especially food. So just type in Bella space and then your question, and Bella will do her best to answer it.
I just typed in there, Bella, what is an EAM as an example? Stand by for her response.
Awesome. You can ask her about logs or things that have happened here on the channel, especially the 24/7 stream. She'll do her best. She's not perfect, but she tries. Bella says an EAM or emergency action message is a high priority encrypted communication used by the military to convey critical information often related to nuclear command and control. Thank you, Bella. Well, folks, I got to go tuck in my son, get him ready for bed. I'm going to go ahead and restart the stream. When it comes back up, it's going to be on the 24/7 stream, and Bella will have the con. Swiller, anything else for you?
Yeah, one more pause there. I noticed that Fried Potatoes just dropped the Mind Shift link down there in the chat. Fried, tell us a little bit about Mind Shift and what you do over there.
Definitely.
I was hoping you wouldn't notice that because we were ending.
Nothing sneaks by these shades.
A nice thing. That's all I had.
Yeah. Fry does an awesome job over on her channel, giving out positive information and positive messages to the world. Fried, anything from you before we jet on out of here?
No. It was fun.
Yeah. Thank you both for being here. It's not the information that we were expecting, but like always have a good time. Fried, Swiller, thank you so much. Swiller, why don't you do the honors and get us out of here?
Absolutely. Thank you all for joining us here in the War Watch Intel channel tonight. As I've asked a couple of times, make sure you subscribe, like, and share the stream. She is Fried Potatoes. He is Frost. I am Swiller. This is War Watch Intel, and we are out. See ya.